All right, so today I'm going to be reacting to the evil business of breakfast cereal. I feel like it's going to talk about when cereal started and how it started. And I feel like since the title says the evil business, is going to expose the business of cereals, which I do know that cereal is very unhealthy. I know that cereal is not the healthiest thing and it's not something people should be eating as soon as they wake up because most cereals is just a bunch of sugar. So you are just eating a bunch of sugar as soon as you wake up, and I know that that is not the best thing you could be eating. Especially kids be waking up and as soon as they wake up it's just cereal. It's just very unhealthy. So yeah, with all of that said, let's just get straight to it.
Welcome to Ordinary Things, where ordinary things are explained. Today's ordinary thing? Cereal. But what is
Cereal.
cereal? Cereal is a popular breakfast food made from processed grains. It can be consumed with milk, yogurt, or straight from the box if you're lazy and or stoned. Today, cereal boxes crowd the shelves at supermarkets across the globe, and in America, it's estimated to be a $10 billion a year industry, putting it in the same league as American institutions like the NBA.
That is actually insane. You see how much money they get for cereal to be competing with the NBA is actually insane how many people buy cereal. Is in every single corner. There are like 50 brands for it. It's insane how much there are out there.
Pornography, and gun stores. But where does cereal come from? While the morning-based consumption of grain can be traced all the way back to the gruel-eating ancient Greeks, breakfast cereal as we know it began in 1863 with a mustache-phobic religious maniac named James Caleb Jackson. The owner and operator of the United States' most popular Puritan health spa/sanatorium, Jackson invented breakfast cereal as something specifically to serve to his patients. He called it granola, and it was made from dried ground flour dough, broken into rock-hard pieces and then soaked in milk overnight. Jackson was an early proponent of clean, bland eating, and he enforced his rigid diet on his patients as a cure for the mortal sins of drunkenness and masturbation. Cereal spread like wildfire through the health spa and religious nutjob communities, which were tightly entwined in those days, as they are today, but back then spas were more concerned with stopping you from beating your meat than with realigning your chakras. But while Jackson had his hands full with a madhouse of guilty wankers, someone took his recipe and improved it. Another spa owner named John Harvey Kellogg took Jackson's initial recipe, softened it, changed one letter of its name, and brought it to mass market.
Yoink!
Yoink! Granola was born, and it was the beginning of a cereal empire that would take breakfast tables by storm. But mixing milk with dried wheat didn't really take off until it connected with the 20th century's true religion.
Money.
Money, man.
Opportunity.
No, money.
You see, cereal's omnipresence is less a result of its deliciousness and more a consequence of its convenience and of decades of persistent, aggressive marketing. It helped that cereal companies had their origins in these Jonestown health retreats, as their supposed health benefits was one of
He
their
brought up a good point. He said aggressive marketing. And the clip he just showed about money. They wanted this to be a popular thing. They just kept pushing it and kept marketing it and kept running ads for it and kept pushing it and gave this propaganda or this idea that it's the best breakfast that you could ever have. They just kept pushing this for money.
successful selling points. Kellogg's launched cornflakes with the early nonsense claim that it enriched your blood, but they quickly abandoned that elevator fart on the second floor, and instead rose to the top with one of the greatest, most enduring, most utterly meaningless slogans in all of advertising history.
Part of a balanced breakfast.
Powerful part of this balanced breakfast.
Part of a balanced breakfast. Did I not just say that? These are the type of ads they are making that is basically getting people or giving them the idea that cereal is the best breakfast they could ever freaking have, when it's the complete opposite. And that's how they started getting people to do it. That's how they did it. And like it's also the convenience, the fact that you could just open the bag, pour the cereal in, and that's it. You have yourself a meal.
Cocoa Puffs
support of this complete breakfast.
The slogan is Machiavellian in its genius, as it's an indirect way of saying that cereal as a meal on its own in no way meets your nutritional needs. But that's not what people hear. They hear the last half of the phrase, not the first, and that's exactly how it's designed. Cereal being a healthy start to your day is a dubious claim at best and an outright lie at worst. Obviously,
It's a lie. He just said it. It's a lie. That shit is unhealthy as hell. It's just horrible.
To your day is a dubious claim at best and an outright lie at worst. Obviously, Captain Chocolate's sweet-ass sugar balls are going to be worse for you than Granny Mildred's bran-based enjoyment flakes. But even the healthiest cereal is basically nutritionally vacant. Regardless, Kellogg struck gold again with their next promotional innovation, the prize in the box. Their first prize, the Furry Jungle Land Moving Picture Book, was a resounding success. And through this experiment, they cottoned on to the advertising technique that would send cereal into the commercial stratosphere. Initially, their target demographic was mothers who'd recently entered the workforce because of the war, and therefore needed something quick to serve their children in the morning. But the popularity of the furry characters in their picture book allowed them to realise that they could cut out the middlewoman and instead advertise directly to children, essentially planting an insistent cereal salesman at the waist of every overworked mother in America. So from the 1950s onwards, every cereal company worth its sugar adopted cartoon mascots as potent weapons of mass consumption. Mascots are incredible tools to make companies.
That's what I'm saying. This is the type of strategy they come up with. Now you have the mascot for every single cereal, and the kids is just gonna automatically be attracted to it. And when I was a kid, best believe I was attracted to it. 100%. 100%. Just attack the kids. That's the easiest way for you to get anything. Just as if you can get the kids to do it, you basically won.
More recognizable. They allow them to appear personable and trustworthy. They allow them to say our brand isn't a faceless machine, it's a cat that plays the saxophone. It's a horse that rides a surfboard. What's in our product? Don't worry about it. Here's a cactus in a Hawaiian shirt.
Look at Johnny and Janie Black watching and
I'm sorry for pausing it so often, but he just said, do not worry what's in it. The idea of this cereal by design was never meant to be healthy. They hold zero nutritional value. The people behind these businesses, they know this, but they do not care. They do not care to deliver to you a very unhealthy ass product. If you could eat it, they don't care whether it's healthy or not. So you should be more aware of what the hell you're eating. Because these cereals is just pure sugar, bro.
wishing they had a snack. Hello, what's this? Hang on to your chairs. Our three friends, the honey bears.
It began here, with this stop-motion furry threesome known as the Sugar Crisp Honey Bears. But they were quickly downsized to a single, less creepy, traditionally animated bear, the Sugar Bear, who founded the cereal mascot's long history of theft and violent home invasion. Continuing on the fairy tale theme, Kellogg's would launch what would become the longest-running ad campaign of all time. Rice Krispies Snap, Crackle and Pop, a group of singing elves named after the noise your teeth will make if you eat too much of their sugar-packed cereal. Frosted Flakes' Tony the Tiger also emerged in this era, initially looking like an off-brand version of himself before becoming the steroid-pumped furry wet dream that we're familiar with today. As mascots became an essential part of cereal's allure, companies started to make products that resembled their saturated spokes animals. They added freeze-dried fruit, artificial colouring, and marshmallows as key ingredients. This is where brands like Lucky Charms, Trix, and the General Mills Monster cereals got their glucose-fueled liftoff. Soon, the average breakfast bowl was filled with more garish fluorescent colours than an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
That is
and even
insane.
the plainest cereal was having mountains of sugar added to its recipe. And this hasn't really changed. On average, children's cereal contains 40% more sugar than those marketed towards adults. And adults' options aren't exactly sugar-free. The best-selling cereal brand in America for the last 2 decades is Honey Nut Cheerios, which contains a tooth-eroding 12 grams of sugar per serving. Over where the lovely me is standing, I've arranged the sugar content per 100 grams of the 3 most popular breakfast cereals in the UK. Admittedly, it doesn't look so threatening, but what if I rearranged it all into lines and offered you a banknote? Don't do drugs. In the 1970s, stricter standards were put in place over what advertisers could claim about their products. So at least that put a stop to all those dubious health claims. Oh, right. I'm being told that that's bollocks. One of the ways that cereal companies continue to market their products as healthy is to tell us about what isn't in them. We're told they're naturally low in fat or cholesterol-free, which is the same as saying that they contain no hypodermic needles or only trace amounts of donkey shit. It doesn't mean what is in them is healthy. The other way is to market cereal as a diet tool, and no one did this better than Special K. Facing stagnant sales in the 1980s, Special K rebranded their cardboard flavour flakes as an integral part of a diet plan. And it probably worked, because it basically advocated skipping 2 major meals a day and replacing them with a single bowl of cereal. They premiered the diet
insane.
with this advert, which has aged like a fine cheese left in a crowded sauna.
Have you tried the Special K Pinch?
Special K's special starvation-based diet
Bro,
was
what are
highly
these
successful,
ads?
at least in terms of sales, and they continued to promote it for decades with their signature blend of body shaming and pseudoscience. Despite
Body
rising
shaming.
awareness that cereal was basically crack for kids, the 80s and 90s actually saw a substantial rise in the popularity and variety of cereal. So much so that they ran out of original animated mascots and had to turn to celebrities and characters from pop culture to fill the void. This 1983 advert for a Star Wars cereal, C-3POs, features the franchise's most affable and most affordable main characters on an alien planet, because nothing says flavour like a pair of effeminate robots surrounded by a tribe of tumor monsters.
Morning, kids. It's a Pac-Man day with my crispy corn cereal.
Pac-Man also got in on the action, along with his gang of radioactive condoms. And here, Mr. T
Condoms.
and his family of teabags adopt a flying crucifixion pose to advertise his name brand cereal. A moment that gave me my own idea for a branded cereal, because who's got bigger name recognition than the big man himself? Dear Lord, why isn't there a breakfast cereal specifically made for the pious
Do
and
not tell
peckish
me there's a
customer?
cereal about
Oh,
that.
ye of little faith. Fear not, for your prayers have been
What?
answered. Body O Christ is part of a complete breakfast and is
What?
the only cereal
Yo, are you serious right now? I think he just made it for the video, I don't know.
consecrated by the Catholic Church. Made from the finest sugar-coated communion rice wafers, Body O Christ contains all the sacred vitamins you need to keep rocking
Oh my,
all the way.
he was he eating I forgot the name, excuse me, but that bread from the that you get at church.
Body O Christ contains
Yeah, that's what it's supposed.
all the sacred
Yo, there's no way.
vitamins you need to keep rocking all the way to the second coming. Enjoy it on the go, on the phone, intravenously, or even in
Nah.
church. Body O Christ, God they're good. It may have taken a few decades, but cereal is finally losing its ring-like grip on our breakfast bowl movements. Since 2016, cereal sales have suffered a sharp decline, and this is partly because there are more options for breakfast and because people are generally skipping the meal more often. But people are progressively aware that frosted grains aren't good for them, and cereal companies are fighting a losing battle against the reality of their content. Even chocotastic brands like Cocoa Puffs have had to reduce their sugar content by 30%, which really only begs the question how much sugar was in them before, considering it is still ostensibly a crunchy chocolate breakfast milkshake. Then there's cereal sexist offender Special K, which is now attempting a 180 on the image that it sold for decades. Here, Special K is still trading on cereal's fanciful associations with healthy living, using the same misleading health claims that companies have been spouting since the 1930s. But don't worry, because this time their vacuum-packed, overpriced birdseed is actually feminist. Oh look, she's an artist. Oh look, she can use both of her arms. Look, they're all laughing. At night, how do they do it? God, they must be so empowered.
Special K, powering you.
Get it? Powering? Empowering? F you, Special K. Sorry, I've had to watch a lot of these ads. I should point out that I'm not trying to push people away from the cereal aisles, but it is still an industry that has spent over half a decade peddling misinformation and breeding generations of sugar-addled children.
That's the
And if
main
you've ever
problem. Half of a decade, yo. No, probably even longer. It's just so long. Half of a decade of like he said, misinformation, propaganda, all of this BS. It's unhealthy as fuck. and you have a bunch of people eating this unhealthy ass shit. So many businesses just do not care about the consumer. They never did. The same thing with soda. I reacted to the evil business of soda, and it just talks about how soda, how Coke was trying to how Coke made ads trying to seem healthy when there was we all know that Coke is not healthy. It's just not. But it's so famous because people basically believed it. So whether you lie or not, if you can make people believe something that's not even true, you basically won, whether it's true or not. That just shows how there's so many dumb people out there that do not even care to ask, to question, to research. They make these ads trying to make you get cereal into your breakfast, and you just do it. Like, no.
Ever spent a long plane journey sat in front of a sugar-addled 7-year-old waiting for his next fix, then you know this is basically a war crime. Take away the aggressive marketing, the sugar, the artificial colours, and what you're left with is an expensive, unappetizing bowl of overheated grain.
Well, there you guys have it. The evil business of breakfast cereal. Let me know what you guys think. What are your opinions on cereal? Do you eat cereal a lot? What is your favorite cereal? Mine was uh I did like Captain Crunch. I'm not gonna lie. The other one, I did like Trix. I also liked Cinnamon Toast Crunch 100%. And I think that's basically it. So yeah, let me know what are your favorite cereal? What are your thoughts on this video and just cereal in general? Yeah, with that said, much love. Thank you for watching.